Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial, and today's review will be the Chucky TV series, Season 2, Episode 5, Dial on Dial. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. So last week, if you tuned into my review, was a bummer. That last episode of episode 4 was terrible. So this was a bounce back episode to will it back around. I don't know what that was about, that last episode. So nevertheless, in this episode, at the end of the last episode, a Hercules Conan Barbarian type Chucky showed up. He's the one who killed punched a hole through the kid. So at the beginning of this episode, the Hercules Chucky met with the reformed Chucky and they conversated. But of course, the Chucky that they took through to reform him, he's telling them those are his friends. And then the militant soldier Chucky is telling him, soldier, you fell off and you gotta snap back. So that Chucky, the good Chucky, went and they started fighting. So it's just wild. Just to even imagine two Chucky dolls. They fighting. One is built like Hercules and the other one is pitting up his dukes and they sparring. And so the good Chucky threw knives at him and ended up pinning him against the wall and threw a knife through his chest. And Jake and Devin was watching all this through the keyhole of the door. Meanwhile, you had Lexi go through her thing with Nadine where she, with the pills, Nadine is showing that she's a true friend. And she talked her through it, and then Lexi got rid of the pills. Meanwhile, Devin and Jake is going through a quarrel where they back and forth, and Devin is like, this Chucky can't be trusted. Meanwhile, Jake said, nah, he deserves a second chance, especially because Jake is having remorse for his little step, his foster brother that got blown up. So the Chucky came out of the office after fighting the soldier Chucky, and he said, did I win, coach? And then he just fell up. And so they nurtured him back, and then he got a chance to witness, was like, well, was I the person where I come from, was there a good person? Jake just basically broke it down to him like, no, he was a bad person, he was killing people. You got a chance to do things right. So they went through a whole baptism thing. Meanwhile, Devin was found. He was going to finish off that Chucky that was stuck to the wall, but then the priest, he found him. So he found him and put him in the chapel just to read Bible scriptures. He brought the rest of the nuns apart, along with the psychiatrist doctor that had her go, that sent the kids there, said it would be a good reform school for them. Well, he brought them all in to see that the Chucky doll that was tied up to the wall like a crucifixion, and he began to say there's no help for Devin. And so then one of the nuns pretty much said everybody can be saved. He just got to keep working with him. And so he said, I want this out of here. So the one nun that was acting weird the whole time, he told her to get rid of the doll. You find out at the end of the episode that she took the doll, put it in a trash basket. The Chucky soldier doll revived himself, and then she took that as like a resurrection of Christ and said, how can I serve you? So now you know what's going to happen with that. Meanwhile, Devin and Lexi, they looked at the phone that the other Chucky had and seen that he had left breadcrumbs like of a way to get back to the memory. So they figured, let's get out and go see what's there. And basically it was the crash from when Andy had all them Chucky dolls in the van and they fell off the road. So they hit out there. Meanwhile, Jake, Nadine, and the good Chucky did a baptism. Jake's gonna be his god brother and she's gonna be his god mom. So just a lot of weird stuff going on. Meanwhile, you had Tiffany, where the Spain is Jennifer Telly. So the Jennifer Telly is inside of the Tiffany Bride of Chucky doll, and Tiffany is in Jennifer Telly form. Meanwhile, you have Glen and Glenda. Glen took Nico and Kyle. They got her in a special place. Glen didn't know where they at, but she's not gonna tell. Meanwhile, Jennifer Telly's sister, I guess that's her sister in real life, but she playing as herself on the show, and she's asking her stuff about their childhood. She don't know nothing because Tiffany is that character, and you see her go talk to Jennifer in the doll form and ask her, and then she gave her some bogus story. So when the sister walked in while she was talking to the doll, she wanted to know what's going on. So Tiffany killed her sister. So I guess that was cool. The real life sister version of Meg Tully, got this experiment acting scene with her sister. So nevertheless, she broke down to the sister Glen like, hey, you need to tell me where Glenda at, and I got something to show you. So she brought out the Glen doll of the son of the seed of Chucky, not just the son, the seed of Chucky. So it pretty much Glenda and Glen always been having these like dreams, reliving the seed of Chucky, the events in that. And so when she showed her the doll, Glen could see that that was her / him. And she said, I gotta show Glenda this. So Tiffany pretty much said, okay. So you had the Bride of Chucky, the Bride of Chucky doll and the Glen doll in the back seat while Glen and Tiffany's driving, and they in the old, paying homage to the 80s classic Christine movie with the car. So they driving in that, and they paying homage to that. So that was cool. Back at Lexi and Devin, they found that crash site. They see it's a bunch of Chucky heads all over. They look into the window of the house and they see Andy still alive. They see the doctor that you see knew something was up with her. That something's weird with her. That she told him to go to that school of all schools, and she's working what they call the main Chucky. His name is Colonel, and so he got a bald head. So they just going wild with the Chucky right now. This season is I guess they just trying to be creative and try to make it as entertaining as possible. So this is where we at. This is a better episode than episode 4. At this point, why not? You just got to keep watching, right? So till it gets to the end. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, save your time. You can come here, watch the review, or listen to the review rather, and tune if you want to, but definitely come back next week to hear the review of episode 6. Till next time.